Is this better or too dark?
Keep the light on.
Is this too bright though?
It's fine.
Come along, you know it, I show it. It's Monday, just a Thursday.
We're live, by the way.
Are we?
Yeah.
Would have been nice if you had told me.
I told you.
Oh, freaking dude.
Let's see. I shared to Facebook.
We should start this crap before we go live, Oops.
Yeah, but we said 10 o'clock, so it's 10:03.
Well, people can wait.
Okay. So outline. We're gonna go over. Do you have anything to add to technology?
Nah. Not really.
All right. Let me just test something. Ooh, I can mute you.
Why?
I can hide you from broadcast. Show it broadcast. And wait, what? Can you try to unmute yourself? Because I can't hear you.
You're a mama. You hear me now?
Okay, that works.
Okay.
Sup, man?
Hey, buddy.
Ooh, a lot of bass.
All right, so Matt, I'm going to now mute you, and then I'm not sure if you want to listen in, and then I'll let you know when you're being unmuted because I won't be able to hear you, or I'll message you on Facebook.
Okay.
All right, so you are now hidden. Boom.
I see him.
Yeah, but he's grayed out now. Okay, so
I see you. I see you.
We'll be officially starting now. Do I sound fine?
Sure. You sound like yourself.
Okay.
Okay, let's put it that way.
Well, welcome back, everybody, to the Internet Hitchhikers podcast, episode 2. We made it to episode 2 finally. Today, as usual, we're going to be going over different things like technology, news, entertainment, like movies and shows, and even some apps for you to use that might be a little useful. Obviously, we had news today of Apple's WWDC announcement. That's the Worldwide Developer Conference, where they had a lot to unveil. So we'll go a little bit more in depth with that. First couple things we're going to go over with technology. So nice little feature Facebook rolled out. Well, first let me introduce, we have Nima here.
Hello!
As you can see, we have a snazzy new lower thirds.
Black and yellow, black and yellow, black and yellow.
And first off, Nima, can you tell our guest if he's able to, how to upload the lower third for him, and I'll continue talking.
Wait, what? What am I doing?
Tell Matt how to upload the lower third.
This is live.
Yeah, you can type.
I'll type. Matt, I'm typing. Go on Facebook, Matt.
All right, so Facebook unveiled a nice little feature called Nearby Friends, which I think is useful, where it helps you locate your friends if they're near you, if they happen to be near your area, so you can definitely hang out with them. You can see what they're up to without necessarily having to creep on them. Actually, it is kind of creepy if you think about it. But it lets you know when they're nearby, which is good because you may have missed your friend by 5 minutes. You could possibly drove by them, so If it happens that you both of you are just visiting the mall, it'll pop up saying, "Hey, you're both near each other, so hang out." So we'll see how that goes. It's in beta, so it's rolling out slowly to everybody. So we'll see. Um, Next up, we talked a little about the Moto 360. It's the latest it's a latest watch coming out from Motorola this summer. It's running off of Android Wear, and it it's going to be basically running Android designed for a watch face. Now, let's see. It looks like rumors is going to be charging wirelessly versus other watches that like the Pebble charges by a little magnetic plug that just simply attaches to it, clamps on like a Mac charger on the MacBook. So that's interesting. I don't know how they're going to be doing the wireless charging exactly. Um, you may have to just put it down on a little pad and charge it overnight, but it's definitely going to be waterproof, I believe. Um, the rumors before were that it was going to be charging over kinetic energy, so people thought that when you're moving, it would actually charge it. But now it looks like wireless charging. So, Nima, what do you think about that?
I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't listening. I'm trying to tell Matt how to upload the banner. Yeah, you are correct on the pajamas. So, yeah.
All right,
What are you talking about?
the 360,
Xbox?
Moto 360.
Oh, yeah. Ah, sorry. I'm trying to tell him what to do. Okay, so, what were we talking So, the battery, right?
Wireless charging.
I know. I can't multitask. Okay, so I noticed for what's the one you have? The steel, the
Pebble.
Pebble. That has the two copper plated areas in the back of it where you plug, where you kind of attach the charger to. That's what I thought the battery charger is going to be like, but since it's going to be wireless, I don't see. I can't get too excited about wireless because wireless to me means I can keep it on my wrist, sleep, and that's it. But what if wireless to them means you have to take it off, put it on like a charger thing, which is basically plugging it in? I don't, I'm not too excited about it till I find out what wireless charging really means.
Yeah, because you're going to have to take off the watch at some point. That's the thing.
See, if it would be perfect if you don't take your watch off at all. The last time I took this off was, I don't remember, but I took it off one time. But it's been months. I don't need to take it off, so I don't need to replace it with something that does a little bit more, and I have to keep. I forget my wallet, my notes, my book all the time. I mean, my backpack all the time, and something as small as a watch, I'm gonna forget all the time.
All right. So next up, I think that's it for technology. So we're going to talk about Apple's conference today.
I watched that twice because I couldn't watch the live stream, and I ended up reading CNET's live stream, and then I went back home and rewatched it because I'm a Mac user, and a lot of the things that they talked about today made me very excited, both for iOS and OS. So let's talk about it.
So one of the big features, which the whole time I follow a lot of Android blogs and news sites and reporters, and of course the whole time they're talking about how Apple is copying Android, which everybody's going to copy somebody at some point. I don't hate Apple. A lot of people may think that, okay, I have 5 Android phones sitting around, but I have an iPhone too. because I need to see how the ecosystem works. So I respect that, but I can see obviously where they're getting their inspiration. It's happened throughout history with technology. It's and smartphones are just the latest thing to happen. There's Windows Phone, there's BlackBerry, the Palm Pilots. I had a Palm Pilot at some point, um, and same thing with Windows and Mac. Um, for the longest time, the iPhone didn't have copy and paste. Well, Android had it from version what 2. iPhone didn't get it till I believe iOS 5 or 6. So copying things is always, well, per se, the inspiration is always going to come around. But
Did you notice while you were talking about Android and everything? Did you notice all the little remarks about Android today at WWDC?
yeah, they were kind of lighthearted, which I didn't have a
There were a
problem
lot
with.
of them, though. There's always a couple here and there in their keynotes, but today it was one after another. What was that term they used? What was
Yes.
hell something, hellfire,
Toxic Hell Stew.
toxic hell stew. That was the most negative thing I've heard them say about Android. I've never heard them say anything like that.
And they were just
But
quoting somebody.
yeah, but there's, I feel like they took the worst quote ever and then they used that. And the one thing I did notice is that they want to be separated from Google completely. They kept mentioning about what's it called, Bing. Whenever there was like the translation part, they were showing how that you can it's like Google Translate, where you just click on something, you can translate it, and they use Bing for it, and they're going back to Microsoft and using them as like a, I don't know, friend against Google.
Yeah.
That didn't make sense.
But yeah, there's always weighted statistics and everything. Like, yeah, the latest version of Android um, uh, is not installed on the majority of them. But if you I can't really think. Yeah, they showed what 9% of KitKat Android 4.4 was installed on most of them, um, while yeah, iOS 7 was installed on the majority of iPhones.
Yeah, but that's not comparing apples with apples. That's comparing apples with oranges. Apple has had 7 phones out, where Android has had hundreds of phones out.
Yeah,
So you can't compare the two. You can't say, oh, we got so many people who updated their software because they have 7 choices, and the way they do their software updates is if you have anything lower than a 4S now, you just might as well not do it. And they always say, upgrade your phone, and the 4S is now free, I think, right? 4S is free?
4S is free with most carriers. Yeah,
Yeah, so there's so many incentives to upgrade that whoop-de-doo that they upgraded.
yeah. Now I'm looking through Apple's site right now, and I did make notes. There's a lot of things I did like that they're adding. Stuff like family sharing in iOS
I
8.
love that. Because Sarah and I buy music, Sarah, my wife, and I buy music all the time, and she has to log into my account to listen to music sometimes. She asks if she can use my laptop to listen to music sometimes. If we can just share everything, that would be perfect. It never made sense to me to pay twice for the same song. If you buy a CD, you're going to share it with your family. So why can't you share music with your family?
Yeah, and again, I work in the wireless industry. I see customers come in all the time. I see whole families, family of 4 or 5. They all share one Apple ID, and actually, even my parents share one Apple ID. But um, my dad knows what he's doing with that. While I
Mhm.
see other families they all share one, and the mom will come in like, oh, why am I seeing all my son's rap music on my phone, and vice versa. And if they
You
don't
and
get it
your
set up
rap
right,
music.
yeah, if they don't get it set up right, little Susie will be getting dad's texts on her phone because of iMessage if one option isn't checked off.
Mhm.
So this is good. You can actually keep your own um, accounts while sharing with that.
Yeah.
So that's good. Messaging, they you can now send text messages instead of just iMessages through the computer,
Hmm.
um, which I like. Picture messages, and just text messages. So something that another thing that they've copied from Android, where something like Google Voice has been doing that the whole time. Um, for example, if you call my Google Voice number, it'll pop up on my phone, on my computer, and I can choose to just answer through Gmail. And again, just like that. So now Apple's finally doing that. Again, it's smoother integration, which is nice. It'll just pop up on your Mac in a little notification. You can choose to ignore or answer.
I did like the fact that when they were talking about messaging, they showed how you can send videos and audio and everything. And the first thing I said is, this is going to take up so much memory. It's not worth it. And then right after that, they said, whatchamacallit, it automatically deletes kind of like Snapchat, but not, it's not time sensitive like Snapchat where you can choose like how many seconds. It just later on deletes. I like that a lot. Plus the audio texting is cool too if you're driving. You just press and you basically talk. You might as well talk on the phone now that I think of it.
Yeah. Let's see. So next up, they're finally letting you install third-party keyboards, and we've been waiting for this since Swipe came out on Android, which I was in the beta for, I'd say, 4 years ago. So that's nice, and the official screenshot they showed was Swipe. So Swipe's definitely working with them right now, and that was one of three major things I would tell people, which is the advantage over iPhone with Android. You can install your own keyboards if you don't like how one functioned to begin with. So you can do that. They're system-wide now. I believe it was either Evernote or another note-taking app would let you use their own keyboard in the app, but not outside.
Uh-huh. I told you today that when they were talking on keyboard and they showed Swipe, I think that's when I texted you and I said Apple is either a year ahead of everyone or 4 years behind everyone,
Yeah.
depending on what they're coming out with. You know, I feel like the Retina display was the last thing that they were ahead of everyone.
Yeah, and now that's Retina does not even matter anymore. I really hope nobody uses that term anymore because plenty of Android phones afterwards have way higher pixel density.
Yeah, well, didn't which phone was it? Samsung Galaxy S3, I think, got, uh, got the best display, or they voted. I read somewhere where they chose Samsung Galaxy S3 as the best display.
Yeah, at the time it might have been the best display, but yeah, I forgot which phone just came out. It was the G3, LG G3. Pixel density is way up there. I forgot. I think it's in like the mid 400s per pixel per inch. Um, so yeah, Retina display doesn't even matter anymore. You're not going to see pixels on a high-end phone anymore, unless you look through it through a magnifying glass.
Hmm.
Next up, extensions, which most people aren't going to really care about. I wouldn't say most people. Um, I like it's probably been the number one advantage of Android this whole time. Basically, with Android, they call it intent, meaning like you open an app like Google Plus, and you click on a link to the Play Store.
Hmm.
If it automatically detects that that's an app linked to the Play Store, it'll open up the Play Store on the phone. While on iPhone, sorry, um, if you click on, let's say, I don't know, if you click on a Word document and you have Microsoft Office installed, I can't verify this 100%, but typically if you click on that Word document in, like, let's say Dropbox, it's going to try to open the browser instead of Office, which is installed. So now they're having what's called extensions, which will let you actually apps talk in between each other. The example they gave was Pinterest. I don't go on Pinterest a lot myself, but I know a lot of people, you might want to pin a certain picture on a website on iPhone. You basically can't do that unless you copy and paste the URL into the actual app.
How did
So
I
that's
miss
nice.
this? And I've watched it twice, and I missed all this.
It was kind of techie when they were explaining it. They didn't. They almost glossed over it. But yeah, they definitely didn't explain it how they're using different app sandboxing, and that's a whole other discussion with sandboxing. But basically, they're keeping it secure to their standards, and that's how they claim that the apps talking to each other was insecure. So now they found a way, some magical way to keep it secure. So if you again open Google Plus and click on a Facebook link, it'll actually open in Facebook versus going to the mobile website, because that's always annoying. Like, you have the app installed, why can't it just open that?
Yeah.
So, last one. What you'll really like, they're working on home automation.
Mm-hmm.
So you
That
talk
that
about
is
this a little
that
bit.
that is my current obsession. I feel like that's the future of any kind of mobile device.
Now, so they didn't say they're not actually manufacturing any hardware. So they're
Yeah,
not going to
well,
be,
they're not going to. I
yeah.
mean, it would be stupid to do.
And they said they just basically want to tidy things up. So yeah, they're not going to be making a thermostat. They're not making a automatic door opener, but there's a lot of protocols that tie them all together, and they each have their own proprietary one. So Apple's hopefully going to be working with all these manufacturers, saying, "Hey, we'll put in a little support for your specific app, for your device, like the locks we were talking about in the other episode, and it'll just simply pair with it. And you could probably do some basic function like lock door, turn on lights, stuff like that."
Hmm. And one thing we forgot to talk about, which I think is very important, is the the communication between all Apple devices. So basically, it's not just your mobile devices connecting to each other via iCloud. It's everything connecting. They have so many names for all these new things they have that I forgot all the names, but uh, something share, I forgot what it was called, but basically you start working on a project on your computer, and then you can just go to your iPad and finish it up, and it's right there. You can start writing up email, and then you go on your iPhone. It's written up. Even if you uploaded a document and you still haven't sent it, the document's right there. So that was interesting.
Yeah, the last thing I forgot is iCloud Drive, which a lot of people are saying, oh, it's going to kill off Dropbox, and yeah, it's a direct competitor for Google Drive now. A big thing that iPhone users, iOS users, the big hurdle they had to get over was, how do you access your actual files in the iCloud? Where did it go? Because if you did an iCloud backup with an iPhone, yeah, it's backed up somewhere, but you cannot access any of that. So that full backup you have of the iPhone's gone. All your documents, It's just in one little tiny block hidden away until you actually restore to the new iPhone.
Yeah.
So now you can just upload all your files to iCloud Drive. The pricing was pretty cheap, wasn't it? It was was it for 99 cents for 20 gigs?
Uh, 99 cents for 20 gigs, $4 for 200.
Oh wow! And Google Drive right now is $199 for 100 gigs and $10 for 1 terabyte. I'm paying $10 a month for Dropbox for 100 gigs. So once
Yeah.
Google Drive gets a little better, I'm going to switch over.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to skip some of this stuff. We may come back to it later on.
Yeah.
I'm going
You
to
don't
move
want to
this
go
down.
for too long.
So I will let you introduce.
I'm not reading this. You can go ahead.
All right. Let's see. All right. Where's my notes? Okay. So next up, we have my good friend Matt Smeagol. He is Southern New Hampshire cartoonist, graphic designer, Wolverine aficionado, a video game expert, and pop culture automaton. And he has more pet ducks than you can shake a stick at. So here
See,
he
good thing I had
is.
you read it. I would not have pronounced that word as automaton.
Yeah, and then here's Matt.
The pet duck thing came from Matt Groening. I can't take credit for that. I admire him, and I wish I had pet ducks, but I don't. So yeah.
Yeah, I read that and I'm like, how come I never see your pet dog?
Yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there together, strong.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay. Before you start, have you seen X-Men yet?
no, which is weird because how much of a fan of the comics and the old cartoon, and I used to be of the old movies, so I have not seen the new one. Surprisingly, for some reason, I have no interest in it.
Okay.
Well,
Go
you
ahead.
kind of have to see it.
Yeah.
I believe that yeah, because and can I give a little rumor that I heard?
What?
Apparently,
We've seen it. So go ahead.
because what I think is cool, which had nothing to do with the movie. Apparently, I know it has nothing to do with the Days of Future Past storyline, but apparently they mention En Savanur, which is Apocalypse. And before the movie even came out, Bryan Singer actually revealed that they were going to be working on an Age of Apocalypse movie, and he was actually attributed as saying that it was going to be just like a Roland Emmerich film in the scale of the destruction. So I'm for that. But
Did you hear about the post-credit scene?
that's the boat. It's the boat. Yes, yes.
Okay.
Spoilers, by the way.
Spoilers. Can we spoil at all?
That's
It's
up to
not
Matt.
spoiling the movie, and it's already been announced that that's going to be next. So
Well, I mean, we can spoil. We won't spoil the meat of the movie, kind of the ending of it, which is kind of the most important part. But still, we're going to kind of spoil it for you a little bit, if you don't mind.
What is Matt comfortable with?
honestly, you could explain everything in the movie. It doesn't matter. I'm
Okay.
going to see it because of reasons, but I'm not going to see it. Spoil it. Go ahead.
Okay.
The way I see it, I spoiled the Green Goblin for you for the new Spider-Man ahead of
Yeah,
time.
and I hate you for that, and I hope you die.
Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Um, See, the ending was very confusing because all these okay, I don't want spoiler alert, but basically the whole movie happens where Wolverine goes back in time and everything, and when he comes back, literally every X-Men character, I think every X-Men character that has been in any of these movies are there, even ones that had died. So basically, I don't know if that meant like, oh, wacky ending, or did that mean forget everything we've done till now? We erased all of it by going back in time and destroying all those movies, and it's from here on.
Maybe that's Bryan Singer's way of apologizing.
Yeah, they retconned. They just retconned X-Men
Yeah.
3.
They're just like, screw it. We don't. You know what? I was young. I made pretty
He
bad
wasn't
choices
young,
at points.
30s.
Huh?
He wasn't young. He was in his 30s.
He
This
looks like
guy,
he's 18. He still looks like. I literally thought he's 32 when I looked up his picture from 2014.
he's probably, well, he's in the process of aging an extra 20 years because of all the stress in this new, like, pedophile scandal that he's been in. But,
What?
you didn't hear about that? Pop
Nope.
culture. Um, um, when I was a kid, one of my favorite storylines in X-Men was the Phoenix saga. The comics, the cartoon even managed to do it. And when I went to see The Last Stand by myself in Colchester, Connecticut, because no one would go with me, and it was one of my lowest moments.
I'm sorry.
I'll give you a hug right now.
When I went to see that, I was so excited to see the Phoenix Saga because they tease at the end of X-Men 2, which was a smart thing to do. It's a cool thing to do. And you go see the movie, I don't care that he had to drop out because of Superman and Matt Vaughn was going to do it, but then it went over to that frat house jackass asshole guy, I forget his name. It was so against anything that a fan could like that I don't know. And the sad thing is, that was the most comic booky of those old movies, if you think about it. That was straight comic booky of the three of them.
Exactly.
Which just makes it all the sadder.
Yeah, and I was trying to explain to my wife, the Phoenix was this just giant space bird, basically, just eating worlds.
Yeah.
And I remember, the X-Men comic from the cartoon from the 90s. I loved watching that, and I loved the Phoenix in it.
Hmm. I'm wary of the X-Men films.
I just feel like they started putting the first breakdown crooked, and it just kept getting worse and worse as they went through it.
Yeah.
First one was good. Second one was okay. First one was good because I like origin stories. That's the only reason first one goes first for me.
Mhm.
And the third one was just a mess.
Yeah.
It wasn't like Batman and Robin, but it was like it wasn't that good.
Yeah. No.
And then Kelsey Grammer was beast.
Well, he was,
All I saw was Frasier. I just saw Frasier being like, "Yo, I got blue hair on my face."
Good morning, New York. Yeah, I know.
It's Seattle.
I would say that, and now I'm making an assumption here, is that because I'm waiting to be surprised by it. Even my brother said it was awesome, and he's usually weird, and so I'll take his advice. But I'm hoping that it's not as big a disappointment as Godzilla. But I know that was next on the.
Yes.
The X-Men was not a disappointment. I liked the X-Men. It wasn't amazing.
If I wanted your opinion, I would have asked for it.
Huh? What did you say?
Nothing.
Ah, okay.
So, the last thing about X-Men, before we move on to Godzilla, is I think I told you, Matt, already, the one thing that really bothered me is, yes, Magneto and Xavier show up at the end of The Wolverine, the last movie, and they
Yes.
say, "We need your help." And then there's absolutely no explanation to
Yeah.
what happens between then and Days of Future Past. And Future Past happens, I think, in 2023.
Yes.
And they don't,
I think so.
they don't acknowledge anything. So, yeah.
I assumed that that was kind of just there for you to imagine your own line to connect the two dots, because I just thought, that's when they first found out about the Sentinels, and then they asked Wolverine to help them, and then when they realized it's too late, that's when shit hit the fan, and
Yeah.
that's what I thought happened.
It is weird that they completely disregard that ending scene from the Wolverine, and yet he has his bone claws left over from the
Oh,
Wolverine.
that's one other thing that bothered me. Again, spoilers, but at the end you find out that Stryker doesn't get Wolverine, kind of. I don't know how to explain it without completely ruining the movie for you, but at the end they show, well, I have to say it. They show Stryker finds Wolverine, but Stryker has yellow eyes. So it's not Stryker, it's what's her name?
Mystique.
Magneto.
Mystique. Mystique. Magneto.
Why did you
Eh,
spoil that for me?
I'm, j- but that's the thing. It's not a big part. It's just now it bothers me. So does that mean from now on Wolverine just has bone claws forever?
Well, the thing is, in the future scenes, he has his metal claws. So, according to Wolverine, he got them back. He got the adamantium back. That's the problem. This is like a random story.
And that's the other thing is that these movies are so ass backwards in their timelines. If they're trying to connect each other with the Wolverine, with X-Men Origins, which I actually really like, don't ask me why, but I do, and X-Men 3 and 2 and 1, they're not being respectful of the source material in the sense that they're because of the way that they're handling it, it's not organized. And they're like, oh, actually, it was this. And oh no, 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 it's because of that. And it's just like it's not particularly good filmmaking. I think that people tend to blow Bryan Singer out of the water a little bit too much. He made The Usual Suspects.
One of my favorite movies.
Okay, that's great. That doesn't necessarily mean that those old X-Men movies are very good. Granted, they ushered in superhero movies into the mainstream when they came out, and then Spider-Man shot it out of the stratosphere. But
Yes.
X-Men, you have to hand it to them. But that doesn't mean they're good. Go back and watch Lawnmower Man. Just because it used early CGI doesn't mean it's a really good movie. Actually, that was a bad example because that is a really good.
It was the movies are pretty good. I think it's the planning that sucks. Because
Yeah.
with Avengers, I have a feeling there was a meeting at some point where they planned out every single movie up to the Avengers, and they said, "This is what we're gonna do. We don't have scripts for them yet, but this is how we're gonna build it. We're gonna start with this character and build our way up to
Yes.
Avengers." Where X-Men, they're like, "Let's make this movie and see what happens." Oh, it
Yeah.
did good in the box office. Okay, let's do the second one.
Yeah.
That's why the
In
timeline doesn't
movies
matter.
where they were world building that hadn't come around yet. That hadn't been thought of yet. So it's a detriment from the studios themselves, but it's also just the times, unfortunately. So
Not even talking about how there's different intellectual properties for different studios. But
exactly.
moving on, Godzilla. I thought the last 45 minutes was really good. After that, I don't really have an opinion of the movie.
Wait,
Yeah.
after the last 45 minutes, isn't that the ending?
Yeah, yeah.
You don't have an opinion on the ending? What?
I don't have an opinion on the first half of the movie.
Oh.
Did you see it, Nima?
No,
No.
yes, no.
I enjoyed Monsters, which was Gareth Edwards, the movie that came out. I think it was like 2009, 2010. The guy made that on like a hairstring budget. I think it was like $30,000, and half of that, if not more, was his own money. And they were filming in actual war-torn areas, and it was good. It was
Oh,
smart.
I've seen that. Is that the one where they're in a car and it's a guy and a girl?
That's Driving Miss Daisy, and
Oh, yeah, you're right.
really good given what it was. And it's cool that he was respectful of the source material. This movie was very respectful of the Toho company and got the Godzilla movies that came before it. Do I think the Spielberg slow burn of revealing the creature is a smart choice for Godzilla? I think so up until the airport when he first shows up, about 45
Yeah.
minutes in. That's fine. Then continue to show him. Don't continue that bullshit slow reveal. We get it. You did it in the first 45 minutes of the movie. You don't need to do it anymore. I don't care. I'm very passionate about this.
We're gonna spoil it for you, Nima.
Let me guess what happens in Godzilla. Monster destroys the city, huh?
No.
No.
Damn it.
Monster goes around city, Man looks confused and scared. Monster comes around corner. Godzilla shows up. Immediately cut to something else.
Hmm.
Spend another half an hour doing nothing. Cut back to the monster. Oh hey, there's a third monster.
Mm.
See
Uh,
monsters fight.
have you seen The Host, 2006 movie? It's an Asian movie.
Brilliant movie.
It's that's a monster story for me. It's not just it's the only monster movie I've seen where it's not the stereotypical, oh, here's the hero and here's the monster and then they're gonna clash. And the main character is not a hero at all, and the monster isn't like any. It's like an animal trying to survive.
Yeah, and that movie actually did the unthinkable. Showed the monster right out of the gate. Showed it
Yeah,
perfectly.
it's the,
See it perfectly. They didn't hide it. It was right there. First 15 minutes.
and very creepy CGI. And you could tell it's CG. It wasn't perfect CGI, but the way they made it, I'm like, if I saw that, I would believe it's real.
Yeah, it was
It, it,
very
it's creepy, and they didn't go crazy with the design. They're like, okay, it's just kind of like a catfish with extra fins and sharp teeth.
yes.
So
And
they didn't go crazy.
but getting back to Godzilla, a movie that I don't think is as good as The Host. It should have been called, well, the creatures that he fights were called the Mutos. The movie should have been called Muto's Special Cameo by Godzilla, because
Yeah.
I spent a good, most of the movie, you check out these things, which it's a cool design for a movie monster, I'll give it that. It's not as Cloverfield-y as I thought it was going to be. Um, but the movie's called Godzilla, and if I don't feel like I saw enough of him, there was a point in the movie where they go to fight, where Ken Watanabe says, "Let them fight," and it flies at him in the rain. Godzilla rears up. They're gonna fight. I'm like, this would be so awesome if they didn't show it. I hope they don't show this great action scene, because I didn't pay money to come and see this. I don't want to see it. I want to see boring Aaron Taylor Johnson talking to his boring, slightly better actress wife. And then, just as it flies into Godzilla, what does it do? Hands over to boring Aaron Taylor Johnson. Nope, I didn't pay $10 a ticket to see him. I love Kick-Ass, but he is nope.
Oh, and Nima, another spoiler. Bryan Cranston doesn't make it past the first half hour.
Nope.
What the?
Nope.
That's the only reason I want to watch this movie.
Nope.
That was
They interview him like he's the main character.
Nope.
I've been watching interviews. He's
nope.
what?
Very, yeah, very disappointing.
It's it's like saying, oh, in the new Tom Cruise movie, see Tom Cruise, and then you go watch Tom Cruise, and it's like he dies after 10 minutes, and Steven Seagal shows up for the rest of it.
Yeah, all the trailers have his voice, you know, and you're all
Yeah.
pumped up because he saw Breaking Bad before.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's a shame. It is a missed opportunity. The good thing is, though, that they included his the fire breath.
Yes.
And,
Oh, spoilers!
I told you.
I'm sorry. Did you just reveal about Stryker? So you.
I kept saying spoilers before everything,
Yeah.
so you could go like this and not listen.
Yeah. I know you guys are going to talk about Star Wars soon, so I actually have to be heading out. So,
All right.
not because I don't like Star Wars, which I don't, but because I actually do have to act out.
Okay, here's our own Godzilla, or Bryan Cranston showing up the first half hour and then not showing up the rest. I don't know. I'm just upset that he's not in the movie.
Yep.
Why is he not? Anyway, okay. Thank you, Matt, for joining us.
Alrighty.
Thanks, man.
Night is ruined now. I hope you guys are all happy.
My night is ruined as well. Love you both.
Love ya. Bye.
See ya. All right. So, moving on. I don't think he exited properly.
Is he like he's just stuck there?
Yeah, I hit him just in case, but
Okay.
so now we got everything spoiled.
What are we talking about next? Star Wars?
We're gonna skip that.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, I am very excited about this one. Go ahead.
yes. So Josh Brolin. I have no idea who he is. Don't think I've ever seen him in anything.
Have you seen crap, No Country for Old Men?
No, I have not.
Old Boy?
Nope.
W, about
Nope.
George W.
You mean W?
W. Uh, The Goonies.
No.
Was he in it?
No. Either way, I haven't seen it.
I'm pretty sure he was. Hold on. Keep going. Was he in the Goonies? Why do I think he's in the Goonies? I don't think he's in the Goonies. Keep going. I'm gonna check.
Trust me, I know when I haven't seen an actor. I can kind of tell if I have seen them, maybe,
He was
but
in the Goonies. He was in the Goonies.
uh, so he's officially cast as Thanos, the guy that you see at the end of the Avengers movie, at the
He
very
looks
end of the
just
end
like him
credits.
too.
Yeah,
I remember when I saw that, post-credit scene. First thing I thought, I'm like, he looks a lot like Josh Brolin, which made me think of him in a superhero movie. That's when they were choosing a Batman. I thought he would be a perfect Batman, but they went with Ben Affleck.
so
Affleck.
what got me excited is
Oh, sorry.
Guardians.
Have you seen Men in Black 3?
No.
Damn it! How have you not seen Will Smith movie?
I don't know.
Milk?
I told you. I have
American Gangster.
Yes.
He was an American Gangster. You've seen him.
Who was he?
He was the dude who did the thing. Hold on.
Okay. So what got me excited was uh, Guardians of the Galaxy, which I was not excited for because it looks kind of weird and comical. Which
It seems like something I would be super interested in, actually.
it I again I can respect it. It was one of those Marvel comics that weren't part of the mainstream because like DC and Marvel, they have a whole bunch of comics that people don't even know about. So from what I heard, this was one of them. And I didn't really care about it, but it looks like Marvel Studios is actually producing it, like the true Marvel Studios, and he's going to be showing up in Guardians of the Galaxy, and we know that was Thanos at the end of the Avengers. So also they said he was going to be showing up in the next Avengers, Age of Ultron. So it's basically a confirmed tie-in. So now I kind of want to see Guardians of the Galaxy just because it looks like it will be tying in somewhat. It'll be in the same universe.
I just like how I can go to the movies now and choose to either watch a serious superhero movie like Batman or a silly one like Guardians of the Galaxy and everything in between. I just like having choices, and it seems like that's what DC's mostly into, the darker stuff, where Marvel is all across the board
Hmm.
with serious movies and funny. I mean, the Avengers was pretty funny.
Avengers was funny and serious. It had
I went in that
everything.
movie not thinking. I did not think I would laugh as much as I did. It was like a comedy to me. I kept laughing, mostly because of Robert Downey Jr. He's awesome.
Yeah. Um, so it looks like again they'll be in the actual same universe versus Marvel's other intellectual properties, which I mentioned with Matt. How X-Men is owned by Fox and Spider-Man's owned by Columbia, so they can't be tied into the Marvel universe. And one last thing, you notice at
Steve
the
Jobs.
I think you're gonna like this. Um, at the end of was it what Marvel movie was it? Captain America. You see at the end they have two mutants or two people locked up,
The
and
new Captain America?
yes,
I have not watched it.
Winter Soldier.
I haven't watched it.
Well, go download it. Um,
You mean go legally watch it in the theaters, right?
it's
That's
still
what
in
you mean.
theaters. It's still in theaters.
Or legally go get it from Redbox, right?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
That's
So at the end, I won't spoil this. There's two people locked up. One of the characters, if it's the same characters, actually show up in Days of Future Past. I won't tell you who it is. It's played by a different person, but it's the same character, and they're mutants. Now the thing is, I believe the other movies, Marvel movies, cannot use the word mutant. It's kind of like trademarked only to Marvel.
yeah.
So I don't know how they're gonna go about saying this. They're not gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be saying like, "Yeah, we got these two mutants," because that introduces a totally new playing field to like the Avengers universe.
Can you imagine how much money both sides would make if they just kind of signed an agreement for like two movies? They can do whatever they want and have, I don't know, Wolverine fight the Hulk.
Yeah, that'd be. But they got to balance it out a little. So the those one of those characters that are locked up at the end credits appears in Danger Future Past, which kind of breaks the barrier of before you would never see one character even appear or even mentioned in another Marvel movie. Kind of like how the Batman movies, they never mention Superman at all. Um, Same with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's basically in his own little universe as well. So we'll see how that goes. Which is my favorite phrase.
Let's see how that goes. No, your favorite phrase, it's all relative.
That's a very scary picture you just posted.
Yeah.
Um, so moving on, I'll let you talk about your app first, which is an old app, but I'm surprised you just discovered it.
No, I knew about it for a long time. I just never used it. I even downloaded it months ago, maybe a long time ago, and I'm like, yeah, you know what, let's use it. And I kind of fell in love with it because it's just nostalgia right at your fingertips. You just the app is called Time Hop, of course, and it basically most people probably know about it. And what the app does, it's every day. It reminds you what you did previous years on that date. So today it reminded me how 2 years ago my wife and I had gone to Disney World. So it's just you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, I remember this. Perfect reminder for a lot of things that you might forget about. It reminded me a couple days ago about a date my wife and I had gone on, and automatically just triggers all these memories that I completely forgot about. So I enjoyed it a lot, and I'm kind of upset that I didn't use it earlier.
And the funny thing is, it actually evolved. I was using a service for maybe the past year, which I stopped using. They would send it like a daily email. I think it was called Time Hop Abe or something. But it basically only existed as a email service, and then they finally made an app where it would use your. Originally, I believe it was just based off of your Foursquare check-ins, and I use Foursquare almost everywhere. I still love using Foursquare. It's kind of weird now, but yeah, it's really good. You can see back, whatever you've done on Facebook. It now shows you like 7 years ago, because Facebook's been out for that long now.
Oh yeah.
Oh man.
Remember when you had to have a college uh, email address to be able to join Facebook?
I didn't. I may have joined after you. I'm not sure.
Maybe because when I joined, you had to have a university or college email to join.
Hmm.
And did you hear the news? I don't know if it was real. I never checked. I just saw the title line and title of it, and I just assumed it's true. I didn't check, but they said something about Facebook is going to crack down on posts that are trying to just get likes and comment and shares, where it just says share if you believe in God or something like that, and just people share and comment on it
Oh yeah,
or like it.
that's a few months old actually. Yeah,
Well,
I did post about that because
okay.
your feed just gets saturated with all these posts.
That's the problem I have with Facebook. That's the one thing I love about Reddit. People on Reddit are good at basically filtering all the crap, putting it on the bottom, and having the good stuff on the top. Where Facebook is just a mess right now. It's sad where the company has to police how people use it, and people don't. I mean, do people get paid for shares and stuff? Is it like I don't know. Why do
Yeah,
people want?
there's some places I don't know exactly, but for some companies your performance might get rated on the outreach. How many people have seen this post and how much impact you're making? How much engagement are you getting? I've worked on social media for a few different pages and companies, even my present work. You can see how many people actually have liked something, viewed it, um, how many people are sharing it,
Yeah, but I
statistics
can
like what
understand you
last week.
getting. I can understand someone getting paid for bringing in business, but when it's just a random picture of I don't know a goat somewhere that is missing a foot, I don't know. It's just,
Yeah,
why are they?
those things are really annoying because yeah, when the biggest thing I've seen, a lot of people on my feeds like radio stations.
Yeah,
I
and
don't really listen to radio stations that much,
me
so
neither.
um, and the biggest thing is you find that for these radio stations to even stay relevant is to post some kind of picture that's funny all the time. That I if they weren't posting that, they would have nothing to post about
Yeah,
because what does a radio station have to do on Facebook?
yeah.
So I get it, but I don't like it.
And have you noticed that uh, the way people have been naming their videos and pictures has been changing? Before it was, oh, amazing video, watch, or something like that. And then with just titles like that. But now it's the father came in and the daughter was
Dot dot
in the
dot.
room with the lights off. And guess what the father does? Dot, dot, dot. I'm like, what's up with the paragraph worth of
It's just to grab you. It's just a new way to grab you, and
I
pe-
don't. I'm
people
starting
are
to not
getting
like
fatigued.
Facebook. It's just people don't know how to use Facebook anymore. I feel like it. Sorry for nagging and totally first world problems, but still.
Yeah, if anybody on my Facebook is watching this at some point, if you have anything labeled, you won't believe what this cat does next, or you know, I went into my kitchen and opened the fridge. You won't believe what I saw. I'm not clicking on any of those links, even as compelling as it may seem. I'm not clicking on those links if you post it. So again, you're not getting rated on how many times I click your link, but I get more turned off by people posting that than anything. So getting back on track, we did time hop, sunrise calendar, which just came out for Android a couple of days ago. It's been on iOS for a while. It's pretty smooth interface. I installed it on the Nexus 5. Um, what's cool is it integrates. If you use Foursquare slash Swarm, their newest app, it can show you your check-ins at the time. Um, integrates your Google Calendar. I believe also you can add your iCloud calendar as well, if anybody actually uses iCloud Calendar. Um, integrates your Facebook calendar as well because it can get kind of messy with other calendar apps. So it shows me, I did some errands today. Shows me everywhere I checked in today. I got my car looked at, did some grocery shopping. Shows me all that, what time. So it's like I have a little more representation of what I was doing that day because I use my calendar for everything. Whether we're going to visit friends, if we're going to visit you, we have it on the calendar. Um, Work every day. My work is mapped out. So again, at least through the app, you see everything. Even this podcast, it's on my calendar, so I know what I did. I can look up stuff years ago, which is nice. So I would definitely check it out if you haven't tried it on the iPhone.
I'm gonna try it. I haven't tried it yet.
Um, yeah, so you don't have to worry about going onto Facebook to see your calendar events. I think you can do that anyways, but this is just all in one. It's smooth. All right. My favorite thing now is Google Plus Stories, which if you might have seen me posted on Google Plus a lot. Um, by the way, that's my handle right there on Google Plus,
Hold on, let me see if I can do
Andy117,
this. It's my Twitter account.
which you don't use.
Like I said, I use it. I just read stuff. I'm not a sharing kind of person, and depending on how many viewers we end up getting down the line, I might start sharing stuff.
We've had one today.
Is that Matt?
No, somebody tuned in while Matt was on and then left.
Either your wife, my wife, or his fiance?
Hmm.
Maybe.
So stories, if if you upload your pictures to Google Plus automatically, it can do what's called auto awesome. It can make animated GIFs. It can make panoramas automatically. Even make like a little grid of pictures if they're all kind of similar. So like how they do it on Instagram, they might have a picture of themselves 3 times,
Yeah.
but Google Plus can do that automatically. So now it takes it a step even further. Um, if you upload, if Google knows by your location data in your pictures where you went. So I went hiking yesterday, and the phone, it knows by location data and where I took the pictures that I traveled across the state to Hartford, and then took a bunch of pictures there. Automatically backs them up to Google Plus when I get home on Wi-Fi, and then I also took my DSLR, uploaded all those, and I just put them in an album, and I just let it go. And I'd say a couple hours later, I get a notification saying I have a new story available. These stories are really nice because I had about 114 pictures, and it basically whittled it down to about 36 pictures. It's a kind of like a storyboard format. You can add narration to certain pictures. It can include, again, animated GIFs, videos, which I really love about Google Plus because versus Facebook, you can only add pictures to an album. Google Plus, you can add a whole bunch of rich media, which I like. It's a lot more interactive. So these stories, it's just you can put full screen. Any pictures you edit, if you want to put a filter on her, it stays on there. And the great thing about Google Plus is you can revert those effects as well.
Nice.
So, and what's cool is it went through all my albums I had in the past and made stories out of those too. So if you want to show some of your vacation, it did it for my honeymoon, wedding, and again, hundreds, possibly thousands of pictures, and it just took the best ones. Google Plus already knows if we take 2 pictures of each other and somebody kind of wasn't smiling in one, it'll pick the best one and it'll post that one. So that's pretty cool. So you can finally do that on an iPhone. It was only on Android. So if I share one with you, you can see it now. And yeah. So looks like we're over an hour. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Did we mention Dr. Dre?
We did not. I'll let you handle that.
Okay. Um, I I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure why they bought Beats by Dr. Dre. You know, Apple bought Beats by Dr. Dre because I mean it's a I mean maybe yeah for sales numbers or anything like that. But if I feel like Apple has always been about quality, not how much they sell stuff. They've never been into that kind of a business. But the one problem I have with Beats headphones is they're big. People love to use it, but mostly because of the brand. If it was audio quality, I wouldn't buy Beats. I would go with so many other options. I mean, if you Google best headphones, they're not even on the list. But I mean, there might be something behind it. Then again, Apple headphones are just horrendous. So Beats is ten times, hundreds of times better than iPhone. So maybe they just realized they're not good at making speakers and decided to go with one that they could afford buying, which is Beats.
What I'm thinking is for the new iPhones coming out in the fall, um, they're going to be integrating that technology just inside the iPhone. And a lot of what they do, what all the companies do with a lot of companies they buy, they're like, Beats may still make headphones in the future,
Wait,
probably.
wasn't there an Android phone that had Beats speakers?
The HTC One did,
Huh.
and the external speakers didn't have Beats. It's only when you plugged in your headphones, then the Beats software worked.
Oh, it was Beats software, not even Beats
Yeah,
speakers?
like the laptop I'm using right now has Beats built in.
Oh.
So there's a built-in application for like an equalizer and everything, but you're not going to hear much.
Oh, so maybe they didn't want Beats headphone for the hardware, they wanted it for the software.
I I haven't seen much things integrated with Beats lately, because Monster used to make the
Well,
headphones.
here's the thing, when they want to sign an agreement like this, it takes years in advance. So they probably started this a year, 2 years ago, started talking about it, and by the time they went through all the legal stuff and announced it,
I don't think it took that long.
takes a long time.
I think within the past like 5 months they might have been talking, in my unprofessional opinion.
Uh, I think it takes a long time, a lot longer. It's just with technology, not even legal stuff, just technology. A phone that's coming out in a year has been worked on for at least 5 to 6 years. So I know when Steve Jobs was close to resigning, he said they always have 10 years worth of hardware in their pipeline.
That may be true.
Because there's no way you can go from design to testing to manufacturing in 1 year. It takes years.
Now, yeah, with those bigger companies, yes, but Beats wasn't, they weren't like Sony or, I don't know, or
Yeah, well, I
Bose or
used I
anything.
used hardware as an example of things take a lot longer than people think it takes.
Yeah, yeah, no, no doubt they were doing that for months and months. I don't think a year,
Yeah.
because the software I think was even more of like a
I
side
don't
thought.
think either one of us know since neither one of us have a law degree.
So I think, as I was saying, they were a lot of companies take other companies and just use their their software or their technology in other stuff. So for all we know, the Beats technology could be used in the next iPhone, but it's not going to be called Beats. It's just going to be built into it. It's just going to be enhanced.
Yeah.
Same with Nest. Since Google bought Nest, I don't think there's going to be any more products made by Nest because Nest, I believe, is now going to just be working on hardware for Google.
Hmm.
So their next phone could be helped designed by Nest. We don't know, but or any automation stuff. But I don't think there's going to be like a Beats logo on anything. You're not going to see a Beats logo on the back of the iPhone. You're never going to see that happen.
No.
You're not going to see a Beats menu within iOS either to like turn on Beats or turn it off.
Once they buy it, it's theirs. It's not like uh, it's not Beats anymore. It's part of Apple. They might keep
Exactly.
the name Beats, like how Facebook bought Instagram. Instagram is still there, but it's owned by Facebook. But I don't think Beats will remain as. It might remain as Beats, but you will only see it on Apple devices, and you won't. What I just said didn't make sense. I just don't think they're gonna use the name Beats anymore.
Yeah, and they Beats has a music streaming service too, which was bought from Moog, which actually just shut down, I believe, either today or yesterday. Moog was a decent service, but Beats has like a fraction of what all the other services have. So Apple is just buying that to enhance their current music selection because iTunes Radio apparently isn't that big.
Yeah. iTunes Radio is new, so they're not that big. And Beats music radio, for lack of a better term, isn't that big either. Pandora, I believe, is number one, and then it's Slacker and Spotify.
And just use all Google Music. I hate Pandora. We listen to it all day at
I
work.
love
But
Spotify. I can literally listen to anything I want on my computer without downloading or anything. It's just there for free.
yeah, same with
I
Google Music. It's just Pandora's like you don't have a choice. You listen to the same 20 songs over and over again.
yeah. Spotify, you have way too much power. I get bored with my. I have to make my own. I mean, you can start a radio and then the radio starts, but I tend to just choose a artist and just go with that person, or make a playlist and go with the playlist.
Yeah, I've been discovering a lot more actually with Google All Access. I have a whole playlist which I never used to do before. I have a whole playlist of just stuff I don't own.
Hmm.
So I have close to 6,000 songs of my own songs uploaded to Google Plus. I mean Google Play Music. But now I'm just discovering other little artists. If I hear one song, I'll go and put that in a whole playlist and have it automatically download to my phone. But it's new to me. I know other people have been doing it for years.
Hmm.
All right, so I think we'll wrap up there.
Yeah, I think that's it.
So thanks everybody for listening and tuning in.
Thank you, and thank you to Matt. I don't know if he's listening or if he'll listen later on, but thank you for joining us. We hope to have you on again.
All right,
And
we'll
that
see you
was it.
guys next time.
Thank you for watching, everyone.